A Florida man has been convicted of second-degree murder after killing his friend because his friend decided to bring up to them while they were casually hanging out at another friend's house that Donald Trump had filed for bankruptcy a few times in his life. Apparently, that very accurate and true statement is enough to get you murdered when you're talking to a Trump supporter. The convicted murderer, a man by the name of Donald Henry, aged 38, is now facing the possibility of spending the rest of his life behind bars because he killed a man for telling him the truth about what Donald Trump is as a failed businessman. That is the level of hatred and anger and, dare I say, craziness that some of these MAGA people have in them. This event actually occurred in October of 2022. So Trump had been out of office for almost 2 full years. At that point, was not actively running for president again. He didn't do that till November 15th of 2022. So why this man, who at the time was supporting a one-term guy who wasn't running for office again officially, felt the need to kill his friend, man by the name of Sean Pop, is beyond me. Like, that is cult behavior. And this man will now likely, hopefully, be spending the rest of his life behind bars in a federal prison in Florida because of what he did to that man for Donald Trump. Here is what happened according to the official police report. The two men, they were friends. They went over to another friend's house and they were all hanging out. And Mr. Pop decided, he's the man who was killed, decided to, smoke a little something. And while they were hanging out, Pop mentioned to Henry, who was the Trump supporter, that, Donald Trump has some bankruptcies in his past. And they got into an argument because Henry insisted that the only reason Donald Trump had any bankruptcies is not because he is a failure, it's because he hired bad people, and those people ran the companies into the ground. And even if that were true, of course, that doesn't negate the fact that Trump hired them, Trump vetted them, Trump picked them. It's on him as the decision maker. So, gotta say, Mr. Pop was right. Well, it continued going back and forth for quite a while, and at the time, Henry was in the process of sharpening up a knife. And he then took the knife that he was sharpening and plunged it into Mr. Pop's chest. Now, Sean Pop actually had enough, energy left, life in him, whatever you want to call it, to stumble out of the house, make it across the street, and then he collapsed. And of course, he subsequently died. And during this, of course, there was a bit of a scuffle. So Henry told the cops that, hey, that guy's fists were deadly weapons, so I'm just standing my ground. That was the argument he tried to give. That's how he tried to get out of a murder charge. Was, hey, he had fists. Those are deadly weapons. I could have died, so I had to kill him so he didn't kill me. Cops didn't buy it for a second, and the police report said that he only had superficial marks on him from Sean Pop. So the jury didn't buy that argument either. They, of course, didn't buy the fact that, you love Trump, that's no reason to kill a man. And under Florida's sentencing laws, he will be serving no less than 17 years without parole with the possibility of life in prison. The sentencing will come later this October. But I cannot underscore enough that we have people in the United States, and this is not the first incident of this that we have seen. This is not. We have seen Trump supporters out there murdering people because they don't like Donald Trump. They insulted Donald Trump. They spoke the truth about Donald Trump. This is terrifying. And I know, obviously, I have not been killed, but I receive the death threats. I know that everybody else that does what I do also receives them. They've tapered off a little bit recently, which is fantastic. I love that. but they're not gone completely, nor will they ever be. And I have never seen in my 21 years of doing this the level of vitriol and hate that comes from these MAGA cult members. I do not trust them. I wouldn't feel safe around them at all. I don't feel safe around them. And this is the world we live in, where if you speak the truth about a politician that the MAGA freaks love, you suddenly find yourself at risk of losing your life. With the ever-changing world of politics, I have to be sharp, focused, and of course, on top of my game, not just to keep up with the news, but to also keep up with everyone else in this very crowded industry. And sometimes maintaining my focus can be difficult when things get a little overwhelming, and that's why I've partnered with Brain FM. Brain FM has task-specific focus modes like deep work, creative, and motivation to meet your exact needs. There's also ADHD mode specifically made for ADHD brains. Brain FM is the only music company supported by a National Science Foundation grant award to improve people's focus. Brain FM recently published a study in the Nature journal Communications Biology showing that their patented music technology increases activity in attentional networks, doubles neural synchrony at brainwave frequencies associated with focus, and improves attentional task performance in people with ADHD symptomatology. Brain FM's mission is to help people around the world with a simple and accessible tool that supports focus, especially for those who need it the most. Unlock your brain's full potential free for 30 days by going to brain.fm/Farron. That's brain.fm/Farron for 30 days free.